On April 9th, during a press conference, President Trump claimed that the U.S. possesses the most powerful weapons in the world. He suggested these weapons are so advanced that leaders such as Xi Jinping nor Vladimir Putin had ever even heard of them. Holy smoke, what was he talking about? And he did this very casually in a press conference about tariffs, trade deals. What in the world was he talking about? What does he mean? Weapons so advanced that the most powerful leaders and the most powerful other two nations in the world had never even heard of them. Holy smoke, guys. What have we heard of? We've heard of rods from God. We have heard of things like, back in early 60s, 61, 62, the Russians detonated the Tsar-Bomba, 50 megaton nuclear device, which was a half-scale version of their full Tsar-Bomba device. We know of space weapons. We know of microwave weapons, lasers, hypersonics. These things have all been heard of. Biotechnology. What could he have been talking about? What is so, now the word advanced, what is so advanced that it is beyond all of that? My friends, we've covered some exotic technologies on this program, on this channel. Some things that are really out of this world, science fictionist type technologies, which some people believe we have full possession of today. And there's video that indicates that that's true. Wow, guys, we are living some interesting times. So let's go into that. Let me go into some videos. This is Greg Allison with Galactic Gregs. Please subscribe to my channel, bang the bell, and click off if you've not already done it, because this is going to be an amazing ride to talk about what this could be. Of course, Trump could have just been playing a Trump card. He could have been just bluffing. He always talks about negotiations in the terms of bluffing, does he not? He talks about who's got the cards. This is a pretty common thing for Trump to talk about. So let's have a look at this stuff. Give me a second to pull this up. Let's have a look at what he said and what it might possibly be, because it's been suggested the U.S. does have technologies that are out of this world. So here we are. Here's this press briefing. I'm going to see if I can blow it up and play it for your benefit. Here we go.
And we're very powerful.
Very powerful.
It's very powerful. It's far more powerful than people understand.
Far more powerful than people understand.
Weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it's
weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is. Wow.
The most powerful weapons in the world that we.
Most powerful weapons in the world. I mean, pardon me for parroting this, but holy smoke, the gravity of what he's saying and the casualness in which he's saying it, and it's so dramatic. This is off the charts, guys.
More powerful than anybody, not even close. So nobody's going to do that. But I think that if that's what you're referring to, maybe it's not. But
so let's play again.
We're very powerful. This country is very powerful. It's far more powerful than people understand.
Imagine that. More powerful than people understand.
Weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and
nobody has any idea. Well, maybe we do. We have some ideas of something that's so off the walls it's not funny. And I've alluded to what this particular thing I'm going to show in a bit could entail technologies beyond even what we're seeing. It's mind-boggling is what we're about to see. There could be something way beyond that based on this kind of technology. Just hang on.
It is the most powerful weapons in the world that we have. More powerful than anybody, not even close. So nobody's going to do that. But I think that if that's what you're referring to.
So I think maybe she was referring to, well, what would they do? Would they take action against us? And he's saying they wouldn't. And I hope he's right that they wouldn't take action against us. However, if they took down our power grid, there are things they could do that still kneecap this country and bring us to run. But he is saying that we've got stuff that they can't imagine. Wow. So let's kind of walk through this. Give me a second to put this down a little bit where I can control my tabs here. Bing. All right. Let's go to the next one. We'll go to the next one here. Here may be what he's talking about. Now, this is the MH Flight 370. Ashton Forbes is a guy who's done the most research on this, and he's validated these videos through extensive research. And his conclusion is this is technology that the United States possesses, that this is fully in the hands and capability of the United States today. This is the disappearance. Allegedly, this video is the disappearance of MH370, facilitated by three orbs, three UFOs, which come into play here, circle around it, and it disappears. Watch this, guys. This video, there's video taken from a drone and video taken from a satellite. There's two separate videos of this event. That's what's crazy. Look at this. Flying around it, setting up an energy field. Then they start this weaving in. You see a bird flying by there. They start this energy field around, and it just disappears. Poof. The orbs, no debris, no nothing. There's no debris. It just disappears. Is this strange? What is this? So let me, here's another video, another view. One of these videos is allegedly from the Sibers satellite system. And one of them is from a drone flying nearby. And you can see three orbs go around. You can see here in this FLIR, you can see they're leaving an energy trail around it, a vortex, basically. An ionization path that apparently opens a portal, a wormhole, or something, does a teleportation. Because there's no debris. You can see the engines are hot here. One of them's on fire. This aircraft was about to crash, apparently. And it just goes poof. All of it. The orbs, the craft, everything. What is that? What happened? So I can get out of this mode here. I'll have to escape or something to get me out of that. What happened? Why did that happen? Now there's some other interesting things. I'm gonna have to hit the touch screen to get this. This was from a Fox News report talking about the fact that there were 20 engineers on this flight, that 5 of which hailed from a specific chip company, 5 of which held a very high level patent. And when these patent holders all passed away, this patent, and this is reported on here, I know it's on this channel here, this patent went to the hands after this event to Lord Jacob Rothschild. I kid you not. I kid you not, my friends.
After weeks of searching for Malaysian
Oh, excuse me. This is on N3, Next News Network. This is Gary Frenchie. Look, he looked a lot younger then. Holy smoke. Okay, this is Gary Frenchie. Pardon me.
370, another mystery about the flight has started to surface. One of the richest, most powerful men in the world may have profited greatly when the flight went missing.
Yeah. Jacob Rothschild. Let me just skip it forward a little bit. I want to get an infringement here. So, as I talk over and just do some snips of it, it's fair game, right? But this didn't show the mysterious disappearance of it, just the fact it disappeared. And there may have been somebody that profited from this. Jacob Rothschild now holds these patents. I don't know, my friends. Let's not play anymore. I don't get an infringement for playing a commercially rights on video. But this is all up here on X, and you can find all this stuff on X. But the best place to go is Ashton Forbes' YouTube channel. I'll show you that in a minute. Ashton Forbes covers this topic extensively. Lots of videos that last hours. This is the FLIR footage here. This is the satellite perspective of this event, allegedly. So, and here, see, Ashton Forbes is actually posting some of this stuff here on X also. This flight just disappearing. Bang, see that? It's just gone. How does this happen? How do you have a flight just disappear like that in a flash? Poof. Nowhere to be seen. The FLIR photograph makes it look like some kind of portal opened. Strange stuff. I don't know, guys. Strange stuff. Really odd, but there it is. A lot of strange details about the disappearance of this flight some odd 11 years ago. My friends, if we had that technology then, what do we have today? We'll talk about that as I go through these articles. Now, this is Ashton Forbes' YouTube channel. In fact, he is here on this video talking about.
You want to know where to invest $1,000?
Okay, it's got to show a commercial. He's in here talking about, indeed, Trump's allegation of having this advanced technology. And he says, I think
dollars right now.
Oh gosh, I hate it when it just want to keep playing the same stupid commercial. I'm just trying to move through this thing. But this is Ashton Forbes' video. Check out his YouTube channel. You just have to search for Ashton Forbes. You can see that this thing's been stubborn on me. I gave it a like. I gave it a thumbs up, okay? Check it out. Ashton Forbes. Go to YouTube and look up Ashton Forbes. That's ASHTON. Subscribe to his channel. Very interesting channel. So go to it. Subscribe. I've done it. You do it. And give it a like. And give me a thumbs up, too, while you're at it. Just like I gave his a like. See, this happened back. This flight disappeared on radar. I mean, it disappeared on 8 March 2014. Guys, like I said, it's been over 11 years ago now. Now, it's interesting. Who would somebody do this for Jacob Rothschild? Use U.S. technology? In fact, see, Forbes says he says that it's U.S. technology because it was filmed from U.S. drone and a U.S. with a FLIR and also from the Cerberus satellite. Why were these assets trained on this flight? Why was the drone? You know, there's so many aircraft flying around. You don't have every aircraft being monitored by a drone. Not only that, this drone was video in it with a FLIR camera. So they had a great interest in this flight already for some strange reason. Anyway, if you want to see more details on the validity of the video and the assertion that it's an American asset, just watch Ashton Forbes' channel. He's hours and hours and hours, probably hundreds of thousands of hours on that topic. You can get all the details from him. That's the best place to go. But I'm going to kind of cover a different thing. Who's president? Who might have gave this to Rothschild? Well, your good friend Barry. Yeah, he was president at that point in time. Would he have given this to Rothschild? I don't know. Yeah, they could just let the flight crash. Why did they just not let it crash? It was already burning. Unless maybe there's something could be found they didn't want to be found. It might have been incriminating, like the cause of the fire. I don't know. Did these people survive? Were they saved and then whisked away to some private, deep underground base, some base on Mars? I don't know what happened to these people. I have no clue. Allegedly, debris of the flight was found in the Indian Ocean off the shore of Africa. But the ocean currents did not go that way at any point in time between the time of the crash and the time of the debris retrieval. So that don't make walking around sense unless it was planted. Strange, more strange stuff. Now, you'll find videos on my channel. I highly encourage you to go and look up some of my videos. You will find that if you look on this is the latest. I covered this in this video called U.S. Army Antigravity Black Program. You need to see this video because I go in great details about the U.S. Army's anti-gravity program. I proved that the U.S. Army was doing anti-gravity research. And they were doing it before this plane crashed. In fact, they were doing this back in 2001. And back in 2001, their lead researcher, Dr. Ning Li, who I knew up to that point in time, before she disappeared, she was still in Huntsville after she disappeared. A lot of people didn't know where she was at. She went black. But one of her last communications asserted that they had a 12 kW anti-gravity wave. Wow. That was a huge assertion. What were they able to do? Did this play into other prior research. You can find Ning Lee on Wikipedia. Yes, she was in Huntsville, Alabama, where I was at that time. I've just recently, since November, left Huntsville to move here to Arizona. So this goes in great length. And furthermore, the CCP knew about her research. They tried to recruit her, and she refused to go, according to her son, George Min. So they kind of knew about that. So for them not to know about whatever Trump's talking about, I don't know. It could be because it's a huge advancement on this. Ning Lee was a patriot. She chose to stay in the United States. Now, many people claim that there was research done by some of the paperclip team. Now, if you read in the Wikipedia Operation Paperclip, it mostly focuses on von Braun's team of about 130 rocket scientists, but there was actually 1,600 scientists, technicians, and engineers that went to the United States on Operation Paperclip. And essentially, they were trying to grab them before the Russians did. A lot of these people were in research areas that the Russians held possession of, and they were trying to get them before the Russians got them. The Russians actually got 2,200 of these individuals. They got more of them. But my friend, the late, great Mitch Sharp, who was an author, went to Russia and actually interviewed their equivalent of Operation Paperclip. And he concluded they had some really good engineers and technicians, but the cream of the crop went along with von Braun and was captured by the United States, at least from the rocket team. But who were all the others? Some people believe that the Germans were involved in UFO research. And they had this craft that some people call the Hannabaru, or whatever it was, that some people believe that the Nazis were developing. There were allegations of things called Foo Fighters that Americans saw back in World War II. Ghost rockets, Foo Fighters, flying discs. There were many strange reports in that time and shortly thereafter. So some people believe that this was associated with technology that the Germans developed. However, the United States was developing, somewhat involved in technologies before that. As you know, Nikola Tesla claimed he could develop craft like that. And of course, his papers, when he passed away, was taken possession of by none other than John Trump, the uncle of Donald John Trump. Donald John, the middle name of Donald Trump is taken from his uncle. Strange stuff. Strange indeed. So, and there were other researchers in America right after the era of Nikola Tesla that were playing around with interesting technologies. Some believe it's entirely ion wind that T. Townsend Brown was playing with his bifold Brown effect, but he was definitely trying to do anti-gravity research based on electrodynamics. What he says, hydrodynamics, the movement of charge. They also had this ionic wind. But there are aircraft. There's some aircraft being developed that uses that ionic wind today. So, and there was others such as Otis Carr that a lot of people think was nothing but a carnival barker who tried to develop a company based on some of this stuff, and he was trying to allude to not T. Townsend Brown, but more to Nikola Tesla. But he got busted for. He made some strange claims. I really think he was a carnival barker. But if you go back to my channel, some of the other things you'll find. My most popular videos deal with a survey of anti-gravity technologies. And this survey was presented to us by none other than the late Amy Eskridge. She disappeared. One of our big topics when we were doing this video, and that's her dad right there, who was a Marshall Space Flight Center advanced propulsion engineer working on anti-gravity technology, amongst other things. This video, and it's interesting because she disappeared. Well, she didn't disappear. She was terminated. Let's put it that way. We don't know the full details of this, guys. It's highly strange. Highly strange. People that research and try to work in this area often meet strange fates. This is the most popular video on my channel, on this channel. I highly suggest you go look for Anti-Gravity Technology Survey. Rest in peace, Amy. She was a beautiful, smart young lady. It's a tragedy what happened to her. And of course, I do cover things like rocket technology, air turbo rocket, the F-1 rocket. Because, this is the technology that we have in our hands on a regular day-to-day basis. And even the richest man in the world isn't really afforded, apparently, to play with these technologies because it's held so tight. That's why I did a video in which I said anti-gravity, tech suppression, and talked about potential reasons. And basically in the thumbnail, I said, where's Elon's UFO? How come Elon isn't flying this stuff? I'll stop the share with that, guys. So, and part of that video, I'm dealing with, if it will stop. I have to click things 3 or 4 times sometimes. Yeah, that's why I'm wearing a tinfoil hat today, because this topic is out of this world. It is really off the charts. So, and it's really outside the realms of traditional propulsion stuff that I've often talked about and dealt with personally, professionally, but I've also had my fingers in this other stuff too, a little bit. So, and you can see that from the questions I asked in that video with Amy Eskridge. Sad what happened there. But anyway, guys, the young lady disappeared, but she was alive until she got hit by, she got hit by a car and then had mental problems after that. Was that a pure accident? Maybe. Likely, but possibly not. And just strange stuff happened to people involved in these technologies, guys. Strange stuff. And I've covered that in a couple other videos too. So you can go back and see those, like, a UFO researcher arrested. I think he got into nefarious stuff, though. He might have turned a bit carnival barker too. But anyway, so there's a lot of odd stuff here. But here's the thing. If 11 years ago, I said if 11 years ago, we had the technology to take an aircraft flying through the atmosphere and make it disappear, along with orbs flying around it. If we had the technology to teleport an aircraft with UFOs, apparently, using strange propulsion technology 11 years ago, what do we have today? In that report where I talked about suppressed technologies, we're talking about technologies that utilize the most basic, fundamental laws of the universe. Technology where there is energy that is off the charts, stuff that would make our strongest nukes look like tiny little paper matchsticks next to the Sarbama. Technology that suggests you could put a weapon anywhere, anytime, or take something from anywhere, anytime. You could project the capability to destroy a city, perhaps into a living room, a meeting, boardroom, anytime you want, anytime, any place, anywhere. Possibly time travel itself. We're talking about the ability to modify time space, interdimensional technologies that can pop in and out of our current realm of existence. Does this exist? The video of the MH370, taken from 2 sources, which Ashton Forbes has went to great length to validate, suggests something really strange here. The fact that John Trump, on the 9th of April, alluded to having technologies that Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping couldn't even imagine, suggests he is playing the ultimate card bluff, or we got something truly mind-boggling. Either way, wow. I mean, we're talking like, this is like Star Trek technology. This is like beyond Star Wars. This is like Star Trek technology, teleporters, multidimensional stuff. Well, that's beyond Star Trek technology. The multidimensional aspect, the propellantless propulsion as we know it, that's beyond Star Trek. Star Trek was supposed to be 300 years in our future. We're talking technology that should be hundreds of years into our future. Now, I'm not saying we couldn't have developed this stuff ourselves, because indeed, as I've shown you, we had people that have been playing around with ideas like this in the United States for some time and around the world. And you go that technology survey that Amy Eskridge presented to us, it's there. Ning Lee. See, good questions. Where did it come from? What do we really, really have? What were really all these drones flying around New Jersey? Were they really ours, as Trump suggested? Actually, I hope so, because if China can do this stuff, you better be scared. China may have a few aces up their sleeve too. And indeed they do. They've hacked us. I did a video on my Green Griggs channel talking about how they had their knife to our jugular. And indeed that's the case. But maybe this is our checkmate. I don't know, for friends. We're in dangerous times, interesting times. We're living in a world where robotics is becoming commonplace, where genetic technology is commonplace, where AI is advancing at a very rapid clip. Wow, we're in a science fiction world already. When we just it hasn't dawned on us just how far it's going, how fast things are happening. So, could we even? Yeah, this kind of technology is scary, very, very, very scary. Now, maybe why it's not readily available. Now, why don't we have free energy? You know, this technology can be the key to so much if it comes out. The fact that Donald Trump even hinted to it is amazing. Maybe this is the beginnings of disclosure. I don't know. I do not know. There's a lot of other mysteries going on, a lot of other strange things. Yeah, go see Angry Astronauts videos on Oumuamua. Yeah, I may cover that too. And it's just a whole lot of topics, a lot of stuff. I've been moving, sitting up here. I don't have so much time to cover a lot of this stuff as I really wanted to, but I will be bringing more and more stuff as I'm settling in. We'll get back in the fold here. So just hang on to your hats. Please subscribe to my channel and share my videos because we're in interesting times. We'll see what happens. The future awaits us, and I hope we've got a big, bright future in space. So keep looking up, because I do believe there's a lot of potential, and we're really going to get a chance to go somewhere with all this. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to say, Greg out.